Listen, it's not even about your kids. It's about your kids' kids and being able to leave an inheritance to them. That's what the Bible says. A wise man leaves an inheritance to his children's children.
You're listening to the Move to Millions podcast with Dr. Darnyelle Jervey Harmon, the place to be for high-level conversations about all things millions. Your mission, mindset, methodologies, mandate, movement, messaging, marketing, metrics, and most definitely your money. I am your host, spiritual business growth coach, Dr. Darnyelle J. Harmon. Join me each week for inspiring stories, powerful interviews, and business growth strategy to help you experience abundance in your life because of your business. If you're ready to move to your next level everything, let's get this party started. This episode is powered by Move to Millions Live, the live event experience for millions-minded entrepreneurs. To learn more and grab your seat, visit movetomillionsevent.com. Hello, everyone. I'm so excited to be back with you for another powerful episode. This time around, let's get up close and personal with the $1 million assets. Now, let me just keep it real with you. If you take a moment and scroll on Facebook, you'll likely see tons of coaches and experts making it look like getting to the $1 million mark is as easy as grabbing your laptop and heading to your favorite beach. Okay. Now, I'm sorry to burst your bubble, but you know me. I got to keep it real with you because here's the thing. If you have millions on your mind, you have to know that it's going to take a lot more than that. I mean, let's keep it real. If it was just about having a laptop and a beach, don't you think everybody would be making millions? Exactly. Having $1 million company will be work. I'm not going to lie to you, right? Now, I don't believe that it has to be grind-filled work. I know firsthand that it can be grace-filled. You've heard me share my story umpteen times of having seen both sides of the coin, right? When we first crossed the $1 million mark in 2014, it was totally grind-filled work. It was everything Biggie said it was going to be. When we decided to go back to the $1 million mark, this time with ourselves in alignment and in surrender, everything was really grace-filled. It was the easiest I had ever experienced making this level of income and this level of impact. And so I just want to be clear, there will be work. But one of the things that I think is important to understand is that the work that you do will be work that is in alignment with your mission, your mantle, and the mandate that has been placed on your life when you are operating your business from a center for something that is greater than you. Now, we know that you cannot be the change that you want to see in the world if you don't have change. And a big part of the reason we're going to get up close and personal with the $1 million assets is so that we can create some change in your bank account. But you have to know that this is an important part of the process, really getting a handle on what it will take to get to the elusive $1 million mark in your company, right? And it's not just about having $1 million business. I think that's great. I think that's an important milestone for you to set. I mean, you're millions minded. That's why you listen to me each and every week. But it's also, and more importantly, about being a millionaire, about actually leaving millions to your children's children. I love that scripture in the Bible. Listen, it's not even about your kids. It's about your kids' kids and being able to leave an inheritance to them. That's what the Bible says. A wise man leaves an inheritance to his children's children. And so today, my mission in this episode is to give you a little bit more insight into what it's going to take to prime and position yourself to get prepared to leave an inheritance for your children's children. One of the things that we created for our clients that really helps them to manage everything that goes into having a business that performs at this level is called the $1 million assets. At Incredible Factor University, as you know, that is our suite of coaching and consulting programs for today's millions-minded entrepreneur. We tend to create things in seven. Seven is one of my absolute favorite numbers. It is the number of perfection and completion, right? So in true form, there are $7 million assets. Now, I'm going to talk about each one of them high level. This episode is powered by Move to Millions Live. That is my brand spanking new live event. Now, listen, I'm not new to live events. This is just my very first time putting all of this amazing content into a format in a 3-day live event experience. I'm going to invite you, and I'm going to keep inviting you until we hit the event, to come and hang out with me for 3 days if you are millions minded. Because let me just say, I have to keep it all the way real with you, that it is really about you getting your business to the place where it allows you to have something to leave. It's not just about the millions you'll make for yourself. It's not even about that. It's about the millions you'll be able to leave. I think that even if you don't think you can leave millions, you need to come and hang out with me, because I'm going to actually show you how you can leave millions, because you got to make millions in order to leave them, right? All right. So let's jump in to each of the assets. Number one is the leverage and scale offer suite. Your offer suite is where you house your high-end programs, the complete solutions that serve your most ideal clients, right? We teach our clients that all offers start with your signature offer. And then to create your full suite, you can have a superb offer, which most likely shows up as your downsell, and a select offer, which most likely shows up as your upsell. Your signature offer is your most leveraged offer, and it also offers the highest level of transformation in a group setting. Number two, we have the leverage and scale messaging suite. Your messaging suite includes all things messaging to get and keep the attention of your most ideal clients. It's about making sure that you have a message that is compelling by being contrarian, and also emotionally connects with your prospects deeply. This suite will include what we call your must-have marketing messages. There are 15 of them. All of the copy for your emails, your videos, your social media, as well as your signature stories that you use to connect deeply with your most ideal clients and prospects. And everything in your messaging suite must have SPICE. SPICE is an acronym that has a different meaning based on the piece of the messaging inside of your suite that we're referring to. But this framework is essential for cutting through the noise and converting clients into your programs. The third $1 million asset is your leverage and scale marketing suite. We refer to this internally as the business success formula. It includes a full sequence from ideal client to onboarding that client and every single step that happens in between of that. We literally go through the process of making sure that we think every phase of the journey through the eyes of your most ideal clients. So this is going to include your marketing tools, the ones you'll use to track your key performance indicators, developing your lead magnets, and keeping in mind that at the end of the day, marketing is the oxygen of your business, and it is essential to keep your business breathing. The fourth $1 million asset is the leverage and scale sales suite. Your sales suite is going to actually be based on one of 4 different options of how you actually want to bring sales into your business. It's about setting an infrastructure for your company that is going to allow you to get sales every day, every week, every month, every quarter, and ultimately annually inside of your business, right? So there's 4 different options that you could choose from as a sales tool. And that sales tool is often going to be dependent upon who your ideal client is. For instance, if you work business to business, then you're probably going to be using proposals, the RFP process, and engagement letters as your sales suite. Whereas if you work business to consumer, you have a few more options you can choose from, right? The process that you used inside of your sales tool, it actually mirrors the sales conversation mastery framework that we've developed and the 7 phases of a successful sales conversation. I already told you we like to do things in 7s. Lastly, each sales tool inside of your sales suite follows the conversation framework, which allows you to master the tool that is going to work best for you and make sure that every single tool that you have at your disposal is actually going to get sales into your business, right? Because if marketing is the oxygen of your business, the sale itself is all of the mechanisms. It's your heart. It's what pumps everything through. It's your heart and your brain, actually, to make sure that the oxygen is getting to your brain, it's getting to your heart, and it's keeping all of your other vital systems inside of your business actually working for you.
The $5 million asset is the leverage and scale systems suite. So your system suite is going to govern all of the processes, procedures, frameworks, and policies that are used by your team to keep your business running. I believe that systems make success predictable, and documenting these key systems makes you, the CEO, duplicatable, right? It makes you as the lead service provider duplicatable as well. Because remember, when you are at six figures, your clients are hiring you. But as you make the move to millions and you get up the move to millions continuum, they're going to cease to be hiring you and start hiring your company because you move away from direct client service delivery in exchange for the strategic vision and oversight and leadership for your team. And as I'm sure you could guess, there are 7 systems that will get you to 7 figures. Your operational management system, your client management system, your financial management system, your marketing management system, your sales management system, your talent management system, and your legal management system. Each of these systems inside of the system suite has their own SOPs, or standard operating procedures. They have their own support software, and they have their own teams or team members that are responsible for the functioning of that particular system. The $6 million asset is the leverage and scale talent suite. Your talent suite is going to govern everything that you use to build your team. So your hiring process, your human resources, all of your policies and procedures that are specific to the talent that you employ inside of your business. Now, this is regardless of whether you have full-time employees or contractors, but I personally am partial to hiring full-time employees. And here's why. I failed the lesson of sharing in kindergarten. And the last thing I ever want to hear in my business from someone that performs a key function are these words. I'm sorry, I'm working for another client right now. Yeah, no, that doesn't work for me. And if you truly want to have $1 million company, it won't work for you either. So inside of your talent suite, again, whether you have full-time employees or contractors, although I prefer you have employees, this suite's function is to determine that everything that is required to be a member of your team is broken down and broken out for your team. This suite will include your organization chart that is broken down into 3 core teams. Your operations team, that's the daily management of the business. Your sales team, your marketing and sales team, that's how you actually get your leads in and turn them into sales. And then your talent team, the people who are actually performing the service. It's also going to include job descriptions, compensation plans, onboarding processes, performance review process, corrective action, HR support, everything related to the people. Now, depending upon the state in which you live and the state in which you hire your employees, there may be some things that need to be or shouldn't be inside of your talent suite. So there are some things that we always recommend that you check with a local expert to make sure that you are in compliance. And then last but not least, the $7 million asset is your leverage and scale legacy suite. As I think you know, I'm currently writing Move to Millions, the book, and we're going deep into all of these assets, which will be in part 2 of the book. But of course, during the live event, we're also going to be breaking them down, giving you access to the blueprints for each suite so that you'll know exactly what it's going to take to get to the 7-figure mark. Like you have heard me share before, I had a business coach when we crossed the 7-figure mark for the first time, yet I was not prepared or advised on things I should have known to avoid some of the turmoil that came along with crossing the $1 million mark. I will not let that happen to anyone on my watch. And that is a big part of the reason why we created the $1 million assets. So your legacy suite is essential for your ability to leave something behind when you decide to stop running your company or when your sun sets, right? Included in this suite are going to be things like intellectual property protection and licensing and things that will allow you to be able to sell your company and make something for everything you've created. Your wealth plan, your succession plan, your operating agreements and directives, your investment portfolio, your insurance portfolio, and your estate plan. And if you opt for profit sharing with your team, that'll be inside of your legacy suite as well. The legacy suite, like one of the things we're doing is we're in the process of creating our own foundation. I remember saying when I was 10 years old that I wanted to be a philanthropist. And so a big part of my legacy is to do that. Now, most people define legacy in different ways, but let me just make it really clear for you. Legacy is money. If you go to Google and say, give me the definition of legacy, it's going to say something like what you leave behind financially for others, right?
Yes, people are going to remember the funny times and the things that you said to them and how you made them feel. But legacy is about financial contribution. Just keep that in mind. Now, each suite comprises the framework, the processes, and the methodology to be set up in a way that will do the heavy lifting for that particular area of your company. Each component is also essential to being able to make your success predictable in that particular area of your business, right? And I hope that by now you see that I was telling you the truth, that having $1 million company will take work to get everything set up so that your company serves and supports your personal and your professional goals. I'm sure it looks like a lot, but it doesn't have to be something that you can't get in place on your own, right? We take the time to delve into the $1 million assets at the live event, in this upcoming book, and in our Move to Millions Mastermind. So we have lots of ways for you to learn and to break down each of these 7 and get yourself on a trajectory to millions and putting everything in place. One of the things, if I had to go back and do it all over again, if I could journey back to 2014, prior to having that an amazing event where we cleared $1.3 million in 3 days, I would have had a lot of this stuff set up. It will take time. We see on average our clients, it taking them about 3 years to get everything in place. Just to be real with you, right? No one goes to bed a blunder and wakes up a wonder. No one goes to bed at 6 figures and wakes up at 7. It's a journey. It's a process. That is why we created the Move to Millions Continuum. If you haven't listened to that episode yet, it is right here in season 3. I highly recommend that you go back and listen to the Continuum episode. It'll make the $1 million assets make more sense to you as you get that overview of what it's going to take. So again, we're talking about your offer suite, your messaging suite, your marketing suite, your sales suite, your system suite, your talent suite, and your legacy suite. Each of these $1 million assets are essential to getting your business to and beyond the $1 million mark. And we call them assets because every single suite is fully operational, is fully licensable, and has the ability to contribute revenue to your business's bottom line. Yeah, it's that good. And this is just the beginning. We're just starting to introduce you to this work. You guys don't even know. I have been wanting to talk this talk for so long. Now, part of the reason why I didn't is because, if I'm being completely honest with you, which that is always my mission, I was afraid. I was playing small inside of my business. I was keeping it to myself. I was doing myself and you a big disservice. I think about that Patti LaBelle song, right? And the chorus sings, when you've been blessed, you pass it on. I wasn't passing it on for fear of getting too big and for fear of being abandoned. Now, while I'm not going to have this episode turn into a session of therapy, I will just share that often the reason why we don't go after money and really pursue who we were created to be is for one of those big fears. We call them the money blocks. They're typically one of the reasons why we don't go for what it is that we know. And those money blocks include unworthiness, abandonment, fear of being too big. I'm not looking at a cheat sheet. I'm kind of doing them off the top of my head. Fear of responsibility is another big one. Unforgiveness is a big money block too. Those things can continue to block the flow of your ability to be able to have more funds than you know what to do with. Now, inside of the $1 million assets, each one of these is compartmentalized to give you a roadmap, if you will, inside of your own company, right? So one of the questions I get often since we started talking about the $1 million assets is, where do I start? And the answer, it might surprise you, it might not. You actually start with your messaging suite. That is actually where I would recommend you start. People have told me, well, I can't really figure out my messages until I know what I'm going to offer. So you could work on them in tandem. But getting clear about who you serve, the problem you solve, and the solution you provide is going to help you to build your offer suite. And that's also going to double as the powerful key messages that you're going to share in the marketplace. Once you have your messaging suite and your offer suite done, then you're going to move into your marketing and your sales suite. Again, you're going to be working on those in tandem. Once you see sales coming into your business consistently, now you're ready to set up your systems and your talent suite. Because guess what? As you get more sales and get more clients, your capacity is going to start to drain if you're the only one in your company.
So you're going to start, as you see sales coming in consistently, you're going to start developing the job descriptions and begin to hire, because you want to actually hire before you need to hire so that you don't end up bottlenecking your business and shortchanging your ability to scale to the next level. Now, you've heard me share before, you grow to 6 figures and you scale to 7 figures, you scale to 8 figures, et cetera, et cetera. So in that growth mode, you're really focusing in on making sure that you understand the who, what, when, how, and why for your company, right? Who you serve, why you serve them, how you serve them, all of those things, those elements need to be in place, because that is what's going to get you consistent customers and bring you in the trajectory of getting your business on the Move to Millions continuum. Once you have all of those first 6 suites together, then you're actually ready to start working and thinking about legacy. But let's just keep it real. There's no company to create a succession plan for until you have a proven, duplicatable model that is consistently bringing revenue in. Okay. So that's the $1 million assets. That's exactly what it's going to take. And I, again, invite you, if you want to go deeper, if you want to learn, like, this is high level and you want to learn how to make this work for you, then you want to join us at Move to Millions Live. You can go to movetomillionsevent.com, movetomillionsevent.com, and you can learn way more about the $1 million assets and actually get some support as you begin to get them set up inside of your own business. But that's where we start. We start with the $1 million assets. And this is what it's going to take to help you to get on your move to millions. I'll see you guys next time. Take care. Thank you for joining me for the Move to Millions podcast. If, after listening to this episode, you're ready to stop playing and praying small, you should go grab my Plan for Millions bundle. One thing I know for sure is that before you can make the move, you've got to have the plan. If you enjoyed our time together, do yourself a favor. Head on over to iTunes, subscribe, rate, and leave us a review. Until next time, remember, millions are your birthright, and to access them, all you have to do is move. Take care.